know that you're getting crucified in many ways before saying what you did.
Sure.
And you're not shying away. You're admitting that it was wrong. You've learned from that. But you have to also understand the pain of a black person hearing what you said.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right.
Liam Neeson today addressing racism allegations after he opened up about a time in his life he was consumed with revenge and racially charged anger. Welcome to Access Live, everybody.
It was something, I tell you. It was that shocking admission that has everybody talking. It first came out of this interview that he did with the UK's The Independent. He talked about it as he got into character for his new revenge film, Cold Pursuit. He describes this incident that happened 40 years ago to somebody he cared about very deeply. This person had been raped.
Yeah, he went on to say that coming from Northern Ireland, which saw so much violence and bloodshed, that he understood the need, he had this need for revenge, but he learned it just leads to more killing and more hurt.
Hate doesn't begins hate right there.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think when we first heard this yesterday, I think we were all just like, I couldn't believe it. So let's hear more what Liam had to say to Robin Roberts on Good Morning America. And again, he's talking about an incident that happened when he said he was 26 years old and his friend was brutally attacked.
But you asked about color, that you didn't ask if the person was tall or short, big or small. That
I did actually. I asked all those questions too. I did. But I did ask about race, yeah.
Because what we heard and saw, it was only asking about color. We did ask about other aspects. Would you have had the same reaction if your friend had said it was a white man? Would you want to go out and kill?
She'd have said an Irish, or a Scot, or a Brit, or a Lithuanian. I know I would have had the same effect. I was trying to show honor to stand up for my dear friend in this terrible medieval fashion. And I'm a fairly intelligent guy, and that's why it kind of shocked me when I came down to earth after having these horrible feelings. Luckily, no violence occurred, ever. Thanks be to God.
Wow. Thank God for that. I mean, he said he walked around with the equivalent of like a bully stick for 4 days, and that he was ready to kill somebody.
Let's unpack all this. Interesting to note, this wasn't a gotcha moment. No one's digging in his past. He's doing press for his movie, talking about revenge. So he was reflecting on a time. And I just know for me personally, when we heard it yesterday, it was so jarring what he was saying. Does it help with the context now?
No, it doesn't. And the reason it doesn't is because any black person, any person of color, I think is triggered when they hear the words he said, and then the reason behind his motivation for wanting revenge. I think, especially being in Black History Month, I feel like the images, the lessons you've learned, the history you've learned, all kind of come flooding back to you, and you think about the times where people were wrongly accused and hung because of a rumor or a happenstance of someone being raped or brutalized by a black man. Anytime something bad happens and it's like the first reaction you have is, I hope it's not a black man. I hope it's not a black person, because all of a sudden these trigger things start happening, and it's like, here we go again. And so while I applaud him for owning his mistake and being able to talk about it in a way that's like, yes, I was wrong, it is still hugely problematic to hear someone have that conversation almost on a whim. You know what I mean? And it was what he used as the kind of preparation for a role.
Yeah, and what he's talking about is clearly racial profiling.
Yeah.
It's what, people deal with every day, day in and day out still. And even though he talks about this incident as it was 40 years ago, it's still very much prevalent today. Yeah. And I think that's where the hurt is that, unfortunately, this kind of attitude continues to exist. And he comes from a part of the world, as he mentioned, Northern Ireland, where there was so much violence because of that kind of hate. That I understand what he's trying to say. I understand that hate does not, hate just begets more hate. It doesn't it's not going to allow for us to have peace in this world.
And coming off Jussie Smollett just last week with the alleged
Yes.
attack, and then just hearing this, and Robin did a great job, though. She said to him, can you understand why this is hurtful?
Yes.
And I think he answered that. But again, beyond jarring to hear.
Yeah, I was on a plane and I was like, oh, yeah. Your heart
I'm
sinks.
thinking, if you're preparing for a role, like, I mean, and the whole idea is revenge. There was no need to get into the descriptives of what, like, something horrible happened to a friend of mine who's brutally raped. You could have told that part of the story.
He didn't have to volunteer this. He did it because he didn't think what he was saying was racially charged. He was, in his mind, he was saying, I'm just saying exactly what was put in front of me.
And it is.
I think he realizes now, though, I mean, of course, how racially charged
And I give him credit for going
yeah.
on GMA, to keeping his commitment and to talking about it, although.
And it was a 10-minute interview.
And I don't think he's canceled any of his appearances. I think, Liam Neeson, we've interviewed him before. I think he's one of those people who he is the. It is exactly what you get. You know what I'm saying? And
He's got a particular set of skills.
You know what I'm saying? But it is a conversation I think that we have to have. It's like you say all the time, and like we talk about all the time. You have to be willing to talk.
Yes.
And even if you come to the table triggered, you have to be willing to listen. You know what I'm saying? We've reached a point in time where if you don't say exactly what I think you should say, if you don't handle a situation exactly how I think you should handle it, I'm outraged.
Yeah, right. And that's it.
And I take my outrage and I leave. Yeah. I leave you no opportunity for learning. I leave you no opportunity for growing. I leave us no opportunity to find some commonality so that we can grow together. And remember, that's what the whole point of it is, at the end of the day.
Yeah. He needs to go on Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett Smith and sit down. I'm solving this. I'm not kidding. And just have a more in-depth conversation. I'm being 100% serious.
I am down.
Right?
Well, along with what we're hearing with the Virginia governor, I mean, there needs to be a lot of, like, come on, let's soothe the soul.